This time last year, we're talking about a defense that returned only one starter. This year, you got, I think, 9 back who were starting on defense. Talk a little bit about how that changes the complexion of spring football for your defense and what you expect out of them.
Well, in comparison, last year, we felt like we were starting at ground zero in terms of all the new faces, new guys, lack of experience. Probably we're a little bit spoiled as coaches to have the same guys basically playing for 2 or 3 years, or a core group. And we lost that group, so we had to back up a little bit. And we made more mental errors on defense last year than probably in any season since we've been here. And at times those things were very costly, and based on the fundamentals or lack of fundamentals that we played with at times and the mental errors, we felt fortunate to be able to be as successful on defense as we were. But I see much more confidence, many more players and faces that have confidence in what they're doing, and we're not making the number of mental errors. And now we're able to bring up a couple of other young guys who have some potential and ability to contribute, and they're surrounded by guys who can affect them in a positive way because of their knowledge and experience. So we certainly have some. Marcel Darius is not a guy that's easy to replace, no question, because of his great pass rush ability and really a hard guy to block, and that's what makes defensive linemen really good. And so that'll be difficult for us, but we've got some other good players, and the experience coming back in the secondary should be a benefit for us.
How about with the linebackers? Because in the 3-4, it seems like that's kind of the nerve center of a 3-4 defense, and you look like you've really got some talent returning there.
Well, and we do, and some experience. Nico Johnson started in regular, C.J. Mosley started in nickel, so Dante's back, and he was a signal caller, and that was a new role for him last year, so he really grew in that. Jarrell Harris has played a lot of football here at one outside backer, and Courtney Upshaw certainly came into his own at the end of the season last year and made a lot of big plays. So that group has got to play well and be a playmaking group for us to be effective when you're in a 3-4 defense.
You hear the term from a lot of coaches during the spring, installation schedule. I'm curious to what that is, an explanation from you of what that is, and how do you determine what your installation schedule is?
Well, the way we do it here is we determine it based on a teaching progression, rather than trying to say, okay, we've got young players this year, so we need to go slow, because I'm kind of a whole part whole guy when it comes to throwing it at them, seeing what sticks, picking up the pieces and throwing it at them again. And I think they learn more quickly. It's more frustrating sometimes that way. But then if they're not quite ready for the next phase, you don't do it maybe as readily. And I'd say this spring we're making more progress defensively because of the experience that we have. And at some positions on offense, it's a little slower. But at the end of the day, you got to hope that you're coaching the right guys. But their ability to learn, take it to the field, execute it fundamentally with effort and toughness is a big part of their readiness to play. And we challenge them in terms of the football that they have to sort of be able to get a handle on so that they can go out there and execute and play winning football.
How does a season like last year's affect you personally? How much reflection do you do, and how much changing do you feel like you do based on what you learn? Because I know, even though you've reached the pinnacle of this profession, I know you, and I know that you keep learning and keep trying to get better. How did you see yourself getting better after last season?
Well, I think that there's always lessons to be learned. When you have success, you need to continue to learn, right? And we certainly tried to do that. And we anticipated some of the problems that our team may face last year.
Yeah, you saying that?
And at one point, I even made the statement that no one ever likes to lose, but maybe the only way this team's going to learn some of the lessons they need to learn is to lose. And if they lose one game, how they respond to that may contribute in a positive way to how they respond to that adversity, will contribute in a positive way to the success that they could have in the future. And I think a lot was learned by the coaches, by myself, by the players, and hopefully that'll help us, next year. But I don't look back. I don't ever look back. We learned along the way, day in, day out, week in, week out, game in, game out, play in, play out. So try to carry that knowledge forward to help next year's team be better, and hopefully some of the lessons that the players learned will help them be better individually and collectively. But I think the big thing is ownership. Take ownership personally to do your job at the highest level possible. But in football, you can't be successful individually unless the other 10 guys take ownership, do what they're supposed to do as well. So you need to take a little ownership for that as well, which is a part of leadership. How do you affect other people in your group, on your unit, and on the team? And I think that a lot of guys learned a lot about that last year as well.